sports drinks to give electrolytes, and then you're fine. The problem is with alcohol is that you drink some, and then tomorrow you're gonna feel depressed because alcohol is a depressant, not an antidepressant. And I personally I don't like to feel sad.
Yeah, me too. Fuck that. I don't drink alcohol personally. I don't really like it. So what's going on, Top Cat? Do you have a mic?
Probably not you right now, if I were to guess.
Yeah.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, I was just in the other room listening.
How you been? How you doing?
Doing all right.
What do you think about taxes?
Taxes. Some taxes are okay. I mean, I like my roads and bridges and stuff.
Don't you think, though, you could have roads and bridges and other utilities provided by the government performed or built by and operated by private entities or communities or non-state entities in general?
The government does hire out private companies for a lot
Yeah,
of stuff.
no. I'm aware. That sort of supports my argument. But what I'm saying is that don't you think the money for where we pay in taxes for the roads and other utilities can't that be done privately? Don't you think? Like you pay for the service and you get it. Like for example, if I live in a community where we share, maybe we have a mutual aid society or whatever, my community, we can organize funds to build a road, or we can build infrastructure for water to our community. Well, what stops that? Or like, what stops a private company from owning a road on a major link to another city, for example?
We have toll roads in the
Yeah,
US.
I mean, yes. Yeah, and don't you think taxes aren't necessary for utilities if that's the case?
They don't. I guess they're not necessary, not completely necessary, but I guess we could get away with, make do without them somehow. But I guess maybe they're just convenient right now. I don't know.
All right. I mean, we're getting somewhere. I mean, if we understand, how entrepreneurship works, without the taxes and with the government providing the roads, providing the funding for the construction of roads, I should say, don't you think that would leave a gap in the market for entrepreneurs and to provide those services?
If the government didn't do that stuff, you're saying?
Yes.
Yes, it would, but I do not know if everything that needs to be get done would get done. I don't know.
I mean, if you, like I said, if you live in a community, you can always fund the construction of a road, or if you use a toll road, the funds that the not the entrepreneur, but the owner of the road gets, they can use those funds to fix potholes and expand their service. Don't you think?
KingSithis is now live streaming World of Warcraft.
That would be even a
Talk
better
to
idea
AnCaps.
because the government sometimes will end up building those bridges or roads to nowhere that end up just being a waste that nobody uses.
I'd like to add to that, I would say, is that I think with other government involvement there'd be much more diversity in transport, which is very important for cities, in my opinion. You'd probably have a lot more inter-market competition where railways compete, roads compete, even not pathways, but like railroads, undergrounds, roads, and different modes of transportation. They can compete for the most efficient service. Some may even have cooperation, whatever, and it doesn't even necessarily have to be a toll on those roads or those services. Like I said, if you live in a community or in a suburb or any residential area, well, it doesn't even have to be a residential area. Those roads or those paths or those whatever can be, or buses can be funded by your community. And considering the government already prohibits freedom of association with other government legislation removing freedom of association, you'd see a lot of associations popping up, like mutual aid, parish networks, more families popping up that could, fund those roads or whatever, or paths or buses, whatever you want to think of.
Would this all be from charity work, or would there be some way to profit for some people?
It wouldn't be charity work. I mean, it benefits everyone. I mean, you benefit from the road, your neighbor benefits. Mutual aid, the way mutual aid works is just you join a community and you subscribe to the community bundle, and you get to team up with your family. You could receive a lot of benefits, and this is how it used to be in the United States. There were lots of mutual aid societies that benefited certain groups like African Americans, women, certain religions, certain.
So we're not talking about any kind of outside investing.
It could potentially be outside investment. What I'm saying is that there's multiple options of providing roads or providing infrastructure. That being, either through tolls, through your community providing them, through like outside investment. There's so many options.
Yeah, I don't know which one would have the least amount of fraud. Like, I don't know if the individual companies would have an easier chance of frauding the individual people or frauding the government.
What is the clickable open access dialog box on your stream?
What type of fraud?
Oh, I was just thinking of stuff like the stuff that's in the news now. It's supposed to be.
Oh, what type of news?
That there's these daycare centers that are taking in millions of dollars.
Well, I'm not talking about the government providing that, because the daycare center stuff, that's based on government funding.
Right.
Like, nobody's actually using those daycares. If those services were private, parents would actually send their kids there, and there wouldn't be the problem of fraud, because it's quite obvious why fraud is occurring. It's because of the government, not because of other causes.
Yeah, in that case, it's the government. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that in all
in a free market, it makes no sense to have an empty building. If you're as an investor, like it makes no. It's like buying a bunch of taco trucks and then leaving it empty.
LOL.
It doesn't make sense.
I think in this scenario, a better example would be, but maybe they get outside investments. So like maybe some firm wants to invest into some project that, builds infrastructure, but, they don't actually pay attention to the infrastructure, and it just, becomes fraudulent. But I think in that case, because it's private, there is an incentive for the people investing into that infrastructure to make sure there's no fraud going on. Because why would you allow someone to take your money and not use it? You'd probably keep an eye on it. So there is an incentive to make sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah. I mean, who's going to want to give money to a guy who's just leaving shit empty? Wouldn't make much sense.
Yeah, and like somehow, like, now this is unrealistic. This would not happen, or at least extremely unlikely. But only through Murphy's Law. You'd still have, you could still, account for the fraud using justice. I mean, the NAP is very clear on fraud and why it should be prohibited.
How do you guys feel about breaking up big businesses like they used to back in the old days when they broke up the railroads and the oil companies and all that stuff?
I mean, from what I've read, like stuff like a lot of the trust busting, it was oftentimes done on behalf of competitors. A lot of people try to portray this story, but a lot of the times these trust busts were these trusts were busted for the reason that because they were like corrupt or whatever. But in reality, it was actually quite the opposite. A lot of those trusts, they were just very good at their business without receiving much government aid, while their competitors received a lot of government aid. And the people typically who would receive, or the people who are more likely to lobby are the people who are already cronies of the government, rather than the people who oppose the government. And a lot of the stuff about, like for example, Rockefeller. Now, I don't think Rockefeller's a perfect person. Later on in his life, when he became less influential in his firm, he got involved into politics. But before that, his firm was fairly sound. Same for a lot of the railroads. Like I said, the main railroad competitor, I forgot his name now. A lot of the reason why he was so successful is because he took very little aid from the government. Who was the guy who did the ferries in New York, I think? Carnegie? I think that was his name.
No.
My knowledge has gone really rusty on the Gilded Age. But before I could tell you so much, but it's gone really rusty. I think it was Carnegie, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. When he got into the ferry business, he had to actually compete on the black market. And it's only once he got very successful that he got recognized by the government, and the competitor he was competing with, he took a lot of government aid to build his ferries, and I think eventually one of them sank, and he got completely fucked. So a lot of the times it's actually the complete opposite of what they teach.
Yeah,
It's
government
just
bad.
in reality, it was just competitors of that were receiving tons of aid from the government, calling for the daddy government to intervene, and then those companies got trust busted. It's quite funny.
Government bad.
Yeah. Where did AnCap Doggo go? Did he say?
No, he did not.
Fucking
Yeah.
Danish.
How do you guys feel about states' rights compared to federal law?
I mean, I prefer state rights to federal law, but I obviously believe the abolition of a government's preferable. But yeah, state rights are a bit better than federal law, at least.
I hate the state.
What do you think of state rights?
Me?
Top Cat.
Yeah, I'm in favor more of state rights than federal rights.
Mm-hmm. Do you live in Dixie?
No, Missouri, St. Louis. Outside of St. Louis.
Missouri. Isn't that where the Mormons believe the Garden of Eden is?
Yeah, and actually, we used to shoot them. There was a law, Executive Order Missouri, number 41 or 44 or something. It was legal to shoot. It was legal to shoot Mormons up until 1978 before they changed the law.
Very interesting. Didn't know What else about Missouri?
Yeah, you don't